We are very close to the start of the new Premier League season, and every single Premier League team has now released their new home kit. So I thought it was a good idea to make a video ranking every single brand new Premier League home kit from worst to best. There are some really exciting designs this year, but also some really terrible kits, so this is going to be interesting. Now, before we start, I'd just like to recommend that you subscribe because it's completely free, and the worst case scenario is that you just unsubscribe later. But with that being said, let's get started with the worst Premier League kit. 20th, Brentford. The reason Brentford is last is because they haven't even released a new kit. They're going to be playing in the exact same one they were playing in last season, and apparently it's so that the fans can save money not having to buy a new kit. However, I think this is a stupid idea because there's no obligation for the fans to buy a new shirt. If you want to make it easier on the fans, just decrease the prices. Some people do want to buy a new home shirt and now they can't. At the end of the day, the club is a business and I really don't see why they wouldn't want more shirt sales. The design isn't very good either. There's lots of big black chunks in the way and the stripes are too wide. So for not even releasing a new kit and keeping the very average one from last season, Brentford get 20th place. 19th, Everton. Not only is this design very average, but the kit is also not very functional. During pre-season, the Everton badge fell off of kits and the overall quality just was not good enough. The actual design isn't great either. Stake.com is a terrible sponsor, and while I do like the collar with those thin white lines, it's not enough to save it from getting a low ranking. 18th, Chelsea. Where do I even start with this shirt? It's a very bold design with light blue swirls going around a blue base. It also features an orange color which isn't normally seen on Chelsea kits. This orange surrounds the logos and I don't think the logos look very good. To me they look plasticky and they remind me of those iridescent logos that they used last year, but to me these ones look even worse. I'm not really sure why Nike have done these weird logos for Chelsea 2 years in a row, but they don't look good to me at all. Another problem I have with this kit is that the design carries on onto the shorts. When I see the players wearing the full kit, it just looks a bit stupid. Now, you do have to give credit to Chelsea for trying something new and interesting, but I don't think the kit looks good, and with the orange and the crazy design and the logos, they're just experimenting too much. 17th, Ipswich. This is a blue shirt with white pinstripes, and I'm normally not a fan of kits with pinstripes. I don't think they look very good, and because of these stripes, they've had to put the logo in a shield. I think that makes the kit look a bit worse. There's also a bit of red in the Umbro logo, which adds a bit of colour, but I'm not mad keen on it. I also don't like how thick the collar and cuffs are. If those chunks of blue were maybe a bit thinner and maybe even white, I think the kit would look a lot better. 16th, Fulham. This is a very boring shirt in my opinion. It's mainly white with black and red touches and this really big collar at the top. I don't really like the big black collar, and the white stripe makes it look like some kind of top hat or bow tie. There isn't really anything that good about this shirt, and that's why I had to finish 16th. 15th, Leicester. My main problem with this Leicester shirt is the sponsor. BC.game is not the kind of thing you want to see on a football shirt, and its logo looks like something out of Pac-Man. Now, this kit isn't all bad. I do quite like the swirly design they've got on the sides, and I like the colours that they've used. Unfortunately though, the sponsor ruins this kit, and I had to put it in 15th. 16th, Brighton. I normally really like Brighton kits because I like the blue and white colours that they use. However, I've got a few problems with this one. First of all, the American Express sponsor is in a slightly different colour to the stripes, and I find that very annoying. The sponsor also creates a gap between the three stripes in the middle, and I think that makes the kit look worse as well. I do have to give them credit for the colours they've used here. Those thin, lighter blue stripes within the blue stripes help to make it look brighter. There's just something about this kit that I don't really like. 13th, Crystal Palace. This is a bonkers design, and we haven't seen anything like this before. It's got some fading red stripes with the Crystal Palace eagle overlaid on the blue many times. There is a lot going on here, and while you do have to give them credit for creating something completely unique, part of me looks at this and thinks it's been designed by a 3-year-old. So I respect Crystal Palace for trying something, but I would rather they just stick with the traditional stripes. I don't think this shirt looks great, and it's gonna have to finish 13th. Also, the eagle design carries on onto the shorts, which, like I said for the Chelsea kit, doesn't work very well in my opinion. The reason this one's so much higher than the Chelsea kit is because it still looks like a traditional Palace kit with red and blue, whereas Chelsea were using that strange orange colour which really didn't work. 12th, Southampton. I'm glad that we're back with the traditional red and white stripes, but this kit isn't too good. It's another one that's basically ruined by the sponsor. Rollbit doesn't look good. It's too big and I don't like the yellow O. The actual design of the shirt is pretty good. The stripes look nice, I like the use of black as a secondary colour, and I like the design that they've got on the back of the shirt. But because of the bad sponsor, the new Saints home kit had to finish 12th. You can actually buy this kit with a different sponsor and it looks so much better. Unfortunately though, the players will be wearing the shirt with Rollbit. it. 11th, Manchester United. This is a very average home shirt. It's got a bright red base with a darker gradient coming up from the bottom. There isn't too much going on here, but I do quite like the way this looks. The bright red colour with white as a secondary colour works really well, and I think this is a nice and simple kit. I do think it's a downgrade from that geometric rose pattern we saw last year, but this is a decent shirt, so I've put it in 11th. 10th, Manchester City. You're probably wondering what that number on the collar and cuffs means. It's actually the dialing code for Manchester, and apparently it's really important to the area. It's good that they're using something that represents the area of Manchester, but I don't think this really works on a kit. It would look good from far away though. I think the light blue and the dark blue work really well together. So for having a nice reference that doesn't look too good but is made up for by the nice colours, Man City can have 10th place. 9th, Nottingham Forest. This is a red shirt with an interesting design and white as a secondary colour. For a Nottingham Forest kit, this is very good. I quite like the design they've used, it works on a red base, and while they could have done something that perhaps links to Nottingham Forest a bit more, I still think this works well. It's a nice shirt, but nothing amazing. 8th, Spurs. Spurs kits are really hard to design. Firstly, there isn't much you can do on a white base, and secondly, they have this really big red AIA sponsor. It's very annoying in this kit, but the rest of it is very nice. I like the shade of dark blue they've used on the sleeves, and I like the thin white stripes on the sleeve cuffs. This is a lot better than most of the Spurs kits I've seen, so it deserves a high ranking. I really like the idea of putting blue on the sleeves. It helps to mix things up and make the shirt less boring while still looking good. It's difficult to do an interesting and creative design on a Spurs shirt, so what they've done here, a clean and still traditional kit, is very good. 7th, Bournemouth. This is a red and black shirt with gold detailing, and while it is slightly let down by the BJ88 sponsor, I still think this is a nice kit. I like how the stripes are a bit wider than they normally are, that helps it to differentiate from other Bournemouth kits, and I really like the use of the colour gold. It's again not something you'd normally see on a Bournemouth shirt, and I think it works better than, say, white would. My only problem with this kit is that from the photo I'm looking at, it doesn't look quite black enough, but I think most likely that's just the photo I'm looking at. Anyway, this kit is still good, so it deserves 7th place. 6th, Newcastle. I really like this shirt for a few reasons. Firstly, I like the colours. Outside of the Newcastle badge, this kit only has black and white, and that makes it look really clean. These two colours also work really well together. The classic Newcastle stripes are really well arranged here, with two white stripes down the middle in a reasonable size. This is a nice clean Newcastle design, but it doesn't have anything special to propel it into the top 5. It will also have an annoying yellow sleeve sponsor when it's worn on the pitch. 5th, Aston Villa. I love the darker shade of claret that they've used here, and the blue on the sleeves is slightly paler than usual, which I think looks good. Another thing to note is that Villa have actually changed their badge for this kit. Last season it was circular, and the year before it was slightly different, but this is completely new. I actually really like this new version of the badge, and I think it looks really good on the new home shirt. It also has some really nice thin blue stripes on the back of the collar, and overall this is a nice clean Aston Villa kit. The only problem with this is the betting sponsor, but other than that, really good shirt. 5th, West Ham. This is a claret shirt with blue on the sleeves and stripes on the collar and cuffs. I think this one makes use of the West Ham colours really well, and it doesn't try to do too much. One detail that I really like is that the hammers in the West Ham logo are claret while the rest of it is blue and white. This makes the hammers stand out and helps it to differentiate from other West Ham kits that wouldn't have this on the logo. I have to say, I really like the claret and blue stripes on the collar and cuffs. I think they give it a little bit of a retro look, and in my opinion, this is a classic West Ham kit. Unfortunately though, it has an annoying green sleeve sponsor and a betting sponsor on the front. For that reason, it doesn't quite make the top 3. 3rd, Liverpool. This is a really interesting shirt. The yellow on the front is something you don't normally see on a Liverpool kit, and I think it works well here. This design references the You'll Never Walk Alone song, which is played at every Liverpool home game. Thin yellow stripes have been seen on Liverpool kits before, like in 2020 when they won the Premier League, and in 1984 when they won the Champions League. So the design does have a meaning to the club. It's also very memorable. You're not likely to see something like this again, and it stands out from other Liverpool shirts. And I think it stands out in a good way. I'm not really sure about the collar at the top though. It stops as it gets towards the front, and it's very, very thick. I do like the colours that are used on it though. Overall, this is a very bold and creative shirt, and for that reason, it deserves a spot in the top 3. 2nd, Wolves. I really like the colours that Wolves use on their kits. That light orange amber colour isn't used by many other teams, but what really makes this kit special is the pattern. It echoes the shape of the wolf in the Wolves logo. I think this is a really clever idea, and it works really well on a Wolves kit. The design looks almost 3D. Sudo have exceeded most people's expectations. They were not a very well-known brand in the world of football before they started making Wolves kits this season, and I think they've done a really good job with this year's home kit. I think they've put the black in all the right places, and again, I really like that Wolf design. I also like how the Wolves badge is in the middle. Overall, this is a really nice shirt and it deserves second place. First, Arsenal. This is the best Arsenal kit I've seen in a long time. And that's saying something because Arsenal have had some really good kits recently. One of the reasons why I like this so much is the colours. I like how bright that red is and the dark blue really complements it well. I also like how the Arsenal logo has been replaced by the cannon. I think that should be just the main Arsenal logo because it just looks so much nicer. This is the first time it's been used on a home kit and I think it looks great. Also, I really like the template that Adidas have used for this. Those curved lines on the sides look really good in blue with the red base and the white on the outside. I think this whole kit is perfectly coloured and almost perfectly arranged. I would like it if the collar was white at the front, but other than that, this is a fantastic Arsenal shirt. And that's why it's the best home kit in the Premier League this season. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe to the channel because it's completely free and you can always unsubscribe later. And with that being said, thanks again for watching and I will see you later. Also, I've got another couple of videos coming where I make my own Premier League kits and I show you some of the best Premier League concept kits on FIFA Kit Creator. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss those. I might also rank some European home kits, maybe even Championship home kits, or Premier League away kits. There's a lot of stuff to get done, so I'm looking forward to making more of these videos. Anyway, the video's about to end, so bye!